expire. Access Bank Limited, more than banking. MTN understands that, the best things in life should be easy to enjoy. That's why it's now extra simple to buy your preferred data bundle on star 138 hash on MTN. You can now purchase all your data bundles via a simpler menu on star 138 hash and bundle away at your own convenience. Go on, enjoy the simpler, easier, and more convenient way of buying data that doesn't expire on MTN, because hey, we're good together. MTN, we're there for you everywhere you go.
So many ways there. Where you go use your MTN Momo wallet make payment with scan to pay. Where you go use the QR code, or you go use the merchant ID, or on bank POS terminals. You go also transfer money between mobile money wallet and bank account, all on MTN Momo. Enjoy real convenience in all your financial transactions and live life the brighter way with MTN Momo. We are good together. Just Momo it. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Drive time on Joy with Lexis Bill.
Okay, so the weekend was a very good one. I spent time listening to Showbiz A to Z. I don't know whether you tuned in. It was an amazing show. Very interesting conversation. That was actually premised on a post by one of our very good friends who's a Councillor Daniel Finney. So he put up a post that, why is it controversial? A little bit controversial. I actually saw the post on our Joy FM page where people were agreeing to it, some were disagreeing, somewhere half and half, you know what I'm saying. But on Saturday, the conversation was really about role models. It had very interesting guests on there to take part in that conversation. But like I said, the preamble was set on this post by Councillor Daniel Finney, and I thought, no, I want to share with you today, and you tell me what your thoughts are about these comments that our councillor friend put up on his page. So he says, Councillor Daniel Finney wrote this. He says they start as slay queens and get spotted by a sugar daddy. Then they become side chicks. They get cars, houses, and make wealth from these big men. Then later, out of their own guilt and without anybody's probe, they go about justifying how genuine their success is. On that damage control spree, they become feminists and they start fighting for women. They are hardened prostitutes and vaginapreneurs, refining into feminists. They've never been in any beautiful, stable relationship before, but assuming feminists, they try to teach young ladies how to live with a man, in quote. In the end, they destroy relationships. Like, if they can't have a stable relationship life, no one should have to. Their understanding of feminism is to incite beautiful, innocent young ladies to equal their boyfriends or husbands, know their right and not be submissive. Because to them, being submissive means slavery. Some celebrities and vaginapreneurs are on social media fighting over a sugar daddy. One of them is about 29 years, boasts of 3 or 4 cars, houses at East Legon. She started a movement, damage control motivational platform, where she motivates young girls on how to be successful in life just like her. She alludes her business started with only 300 Ghana cedis and has grown great through her hard work, in quote. I advise you as Councillor Daniel Finney to be careful of the role models, mentors, motivational speakers and pastors you follow, spend time with and listen to. Many of them are only leveraging on their prostitution, failures, arrogance and unsubmissiveness to prey on the innocence of the young and unsuspecting. There's only one proper feminist in Ghana, Mrs. Nana Kunedo Ajima-Rawlings. I celebrate her while she lives, not when she's passed. She's the wife of J.J. Rawlings, a soldier who later became a president. They've been married for 43 years. It takes only a feminist to use her woman power to tame, not resist or fight, a hardcore soldier president for these years. She has raised and empowered all her 3 daughters to become MP, lawyer, and communicator respectively. Such is feminism. You can name any proper feminists you know. Let's celebrate them. Stop following these arrogant young slave queens who tout themselves as feminists. They have used your brain and vagina to bargain for everything they have. They are upon one and no man wishes to live with them. They think men avoid them because they know they are right. I am Councillor Daniel Fenyi, a gender activist. We'll talk more about feminism later. It's a lovely ideology. You'd love to marry a feminist. So I saw the piece, and I mean, to be honest with you, from where I sit, there's so many facets to this piece that he wrote that needs to be looked at. I mean, and I don't want us to take it face value, because I know that we have very discerning listeners here. What do you make of this piece that he wrote? I'm trying to get him on the line so we actually deliberate on it a lot further, because of course we can't have an ideal situation for all, but you know, he makes some very harsh statements from one point. Somebody will say, yeah, from that school of thought it's a little harsh. Somebody will say, look, he hit the nail right on the head. He said exactly what it is, you know. Like I said, I was following the conversation on Facebook, and I was really heated seeing some of the comments on there. And I thought, look, today I want to hear what your thoughts are about this. You probably followed the conversation, or you probably saw this post and you made some comments on it. But what do you think about what he said? What do you think about this post that he put up? The conversation on Saturday was tailored towards getting good role models for the young ones. So that's how come this particular piece was the preamble. Are there good role models around? The fact about slave queens and feminism, is there any truism to it? I thought I was a feminist at some point, because of course I have to, you know, speak for women too, you know. But the definitions that were put out in this post were a little controversial. What are your thoughts? You can WhatsApp me 0244 340437, or you can call me 0302216541. Mami Abena Boima says, I so love this write-up. It has said it all. Now, Kwajo says, yo, thank you, Papa, but some of us knew this long ago. Not only women, some men dubiously make money and attribute it to hard work. So for you, was he just stating a fact, or you don't think it makes sense? Okay, let's get talking. Pakuju is here.
Hi, Lexis.
Pakuju, can you lower the volume when you said for me, bro? How are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Talk to me.
Well, I think that it depends on where you stand, Lexis. I believe that it's a good call, and like some of us would want to call a spade and not a big spoon or big digging tool or whatever it is. So the very important point he raises, but I don't like the generalizations, because you see, there's been great and amazing women who, for one reason or the other, through lives, if you like, circumstances and vicissitudes, have found themselves at the rough end of life, and they've been able to pick up the pieces, and they've been able to manage their lives so well. If such people are speaking, we are careful the way we brand them. Of course, there are people who don't come near to what the meaning of the word role models are, and I'm sure that is what he is targeting. But I think that we should be a little more careful with the way he generalizes. I agree with the fact that that Marolin is an excellent role model. But last Saturday, as I listened to the program, Mrs. Shawatofe made a very, very important point I think we should all learn from. And she said, we must all realize that the best role models are our parents. Indeed. you can look at the way our parents have struggled to give us what we want or what we have. I think that if you are a parent and you are not serving, your children are not choosing you as their first role models before they look at elsewhere, then I'm sure you are failing as a parent, right? Because we say charity begins at home, Lexis.
Yeah.
So this is a very important call, and I'm sure this is because of the way young girls are being swayed into materialism. I guess we should be very careful. It also has to do with the way society worships wealth.
Yeah. Without
questioning the source of the wealth. Now, we're not saying that we should get into people's private businesses. But indeed, if at 19, 20, 21, first, second year, third year in the university, you can afford a car everybody knows you cannot buy, and the money didn't come from your parents, then of course, there's every right for society to question where the source of the wealth is. And unfortunately, we have young girls who look up to material things and then they start worshipping you. And all these things, I think, has to do with the way we've taken moral education out of our curriculum as a people. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's about time we went back and looked at all these things. As for the counselor, he's made beautiful points, but it's subject to interpretation.
Interesting. Pakujo, thank you so much for your thoughts on this. David also has thoughts. Hello, David.
Hello, Lexis.
Welcome, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right, talk to me.
By the way, nice for the tunes you are playing today. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. You enjoyed them, huh?
I really enjoyed them. Nice one.
I'm glad. Talk to me.
Hey, Lexis, this is your issue. I think the writer hit it on the head. Hit the nail on the head, seriously. And with what I do, I find it very ironically, you understand, the loud ones out there, they don't preach what they do. You understand? But there are good ones out there as well. You understand? With what I do, I've been seeing a lot.
What do you do?
You want me to put it out there? I'm a casino staff.
You're a casino staff?
Yeah.
Okay. And you say you've been seeing a lot. Like what?
One day, I think I had one encounter. I think I was supervising the table. And I had this lady on my table. She was playing. And then she was kind of smoking. And I was like, listen, whom are you guys deceiving? The last time I saw you on television, you were like, you don't smoke. You do that for the screen. And what are you doing now? And you're like, Charlie Parroffin. I was like, no, stop it. We don't do this. Don't do this. Whom are you deceiving? And you call yourself a role model. No, come on. So, listen, it's real. But listen, there are good ones among them. You understand? Yeah. But just the loud ones, they don't preach what they do. So when you see them, you see them. I hang around with most of them. You understand? Yeah.
You see. So I wanted to interrogate a lot further, but I'll leave it there, David. Thank you. I've got James also on the line. Hello, James.
Hi.
Yes, man. How be?
I'm well, sir.
I'm good. To talk to me.
Well, I think the counselor was right. I was listening to you. I wanted to retrieve a tweet that Omar Sterling of RTV's but some few, I can't recollect. I checked, I couldn't find it. He was trying to tell us about how we see them as role models and what actually is wrong when we see them as role models. Now, Kwame, there are people that we celebrate them as celebrities and we see them as role models, but they themselves, they know they are not qualified to. So they wouldn't come out to be like, okay, I'm preaching towards your life for you to be like me or something. You understand? Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of choice.
Okay.
But the problem is those who come, say things to us, but on face value, whatever it is, it's not actually their doing. Why do you think, as we hear, sorry to mention the name. Kwapin Polo was invited by the police. It's not about we, the people that we saw the picture. It's the person standing in front of Kwapin Polo, which is the son. You are a celebrity, and you are at the same time the role model to your son. But what you have started portraying in front of the boy could, trigger something in his mind. You understand? So to me, I think it's a matter of choice. But what we do see and what the I mean, like just like how the guy is saying that I mean, Kwame, me minimum call for me by radio. So I mean, there's one person recently trended any idea on the uncle back on the idea. Me, I know them and how they are and how they do brag and a whole lot. And they will tell you to work hard, and you have people even up to now that have bought cars for celebrities. They are which they have not paid. And in I mean, yeah, celebrities because a bar you need to a fire. What I say.
Okay.
But in the end of the day, who are you deceiving? You are not being truthful to the people. Right, just like how Hush Puppy's lawyer was stating that the guy is a celebrity model. He tries to encourage people, but meanwhile, that was called for fraud.
Interesting. Thank you. Elulu Mesa put up a comment as well on Facebook. This remains the counselor's view. The mode of life, the choices we make, and how we progress in life depends on the means available and how every person approaches it. There's no criteria to success. Morality is relative and it changes as social life changes. Marriage is not a determinant for success and nobody's obliged to marry. It's a voluntary act. So it should not be used to judge anybody. Ghana is in a moral decadence. We've lost our identity as a people, and the current happenings are evidence of the lost identity. Who then becomes a moral judge in the courts of others? Let those ladies live their lives. They will be responsible for their deeds. If you think there's something wrong with their way of life, be the example of morality. Konodu has her own challenges. To many, she isn't exemplary and can't be the measure of morality. To you, she is. I'll ask the daughter to be the counselor he is without mentioning names of people who are living their lives. Papa, sir.
Commander.
Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
You see, this issue of feminism and those calling boils down to you media men. Because when you want to bring someone to motivate the youth, you don't dig down to the person's history. Me, Papa and Son sitting here in Teshinwa, you people will not come to ask of me how man struggle to get to even the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But you just see someone, a lady with a forecast, put some houses at Trasako, East Legon, people will interview, and the person will come out, oh, I started with this sort of money, by God's grace, I bought this. Meanwhile, the kind of job that person is doing, the youth cannot even do. Ask the ladies. You see, let me give you an example. Just yesterday, I met a lady, and it was like, a lady friend was like, Charlie, Papa, the amount for you know, you need to be the anara. This lady is selling eggs, cooked eggs. And you see her fellow lady comes out to she has done this and he has done this. She's got the money to buy these things. They should learn from Charlotte or say, if Charlotte or say, Mrs. Charlotte or say, if this man, if it were not to be politics, this man would be an ideal, perfect woman. Anybody would just come up, talk to this woman like that. You see, youth, as they are, they have to, they don't have to, look at their role models. They should rather study their parents. Yes.
Thank you. We'll leave it here. This message here says, why blame just the women? Who do they sleep with? Is it not men? Both parties should be blamed, not just the women. Why do women always have to carry and bear the cross? Kay.
Hello.
Welcome, Kay.
Hello, Lexis. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. You see, all the things are not the same. So we always need to have that at the back of our mind.
I'm here, Kay. Hello, Kay.
Hear me?
Kay, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
I said, all the things are not the same. And I blame society for socializing us into what we think we should look up to.
Mm-hmm.
That is the problem. What we think we should look up to. I think there's nothing wrong in having role models. I have role models. But if I tell you some of them are, you may think they're questionable. But here's the trick. Let's say I like Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
I like a certain aspect of him.
Yeah.
I like Bill Gates. I like a certain aspect of how his life went, how he made certain decisions. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm taking one person like, oh, I want to do everything. Jay-Z sold drugs. I don't think I want to sell drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I want my children to sell drugs. But then there's a certain aspect of his life that inspires me. So that is what we need to look up to. It's just like pastors.
Yeah. So for you, is it the whole concept of role models that we're not understanding or we don't get?
Exactly. Like I said, it's just like pastors.
Yeah.
It's not the pastor you have to look up to. It's to God. So it's the same way if you see somebody successful, it's the success and the process in getting there as pertains to you as a person, because you're not the same as him. If you went to Harvard and I went to another school, the opportunities you had are different from mine, but then your story can inspire me to improve myself. So not to look at you and say that, oh, you did ABC, so I must do ABC. So we have that notion wrong.
And also, I mean, let's think about it, that there are some of these celebrities, in quotes, or popular people who don't set out to be role models. They literally are just popular for probably what they do.
Exactly.
You know, and they have their own issues they're dealing with. Who makes anybody a role model? They're human. They have their lives as well that they live.
Like I said, what was my second point? My first point was that we all know all things are the same, and the second one was that as a society, we've been socialized to look up to certain things. So let somebody start something tomorrow, and then you see, we the same people who hail that person.
And you know, we hear about their stories because they are in the public eye. But privately, look at all of us. I'm sure everybody has a story. We all, you know, probably in our own little corner look like great role models to other people.
I like to say that nobody will come and interview him and ask him how he's struggling and hustling. Exactly. So that's how it is. It's the society, you know. It's on different levels. It's the media. You know, a media house needs to sell. Who are you going to bring on to get your numbers? You know, it's just like that. And yes, the men too. The men have spoiled the girls. You know, if you go around trying to, you know, con every girl with money, obviously it's money that you are training people to, oh, okay, it's all about money. Tomorrow, you, the same guy, will be crying because somebody who has more money than you has taken her, then you'll be calling her go there. Meanwhile, you also went there showing that I have money.
Okay.
So what did you expect her to expect from you?
Interesting. Okay, thank you. I actually have Councillor Fenny who put up this post online. On the phone now. Hello, Councillor.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you doing, Councillor Fenny?
Thank you very much. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you so much. So, for starters, what do you think about the reception of the post that you put up?
Yes, let me take the opportunity to, you know, say a very good evening to your cherished listeners, and also a platform on Joy. I don't take it for granted. So let me say thank you. Now, I think the write-up and its reaction is more of a reflection of people's reality. I think the message in it is something a lot of people connect with and have been with people all this while. And so they needed somebody to almost represent them in voicing it out. And so, fine, there are a lot of, or a few people who disagree, and some of them have come quite harsh at me and all that. But I think the generality of the comments are, you know, almost as if it's an endorsement of the message in it. And my brother, it is a reality. I mean, we can choose to deny some of the comments in it, the message, and we can choose to deny certain aspects or portions of the message in it. But the reality is that, look, there are a lot of young ladies who are using several means of making it rich. When they get to the top, they feel that, some people go about defending themselves even without you asking them anything. And so you meet them, and without asking anything, they start explaining things to you. These girls are doing it. We see it all over. They appear on so many platforms, on several platforms, and they try to, let people believe that they are genuine and all that. I don't even have a problem with that. But don't make it look like those who are hustling really, those who are going through the process are late in life.
There's a bit of morality dichotomy, if I can put it that way, because you talk about the women who probably will go around sleeping with other men and all, right?
Yes.
But they are sleeping with men who are also, susceptible to be scrutinized, isn't it? But
yes, I so much agree.
Everybody is hitting out at the women. What about the men? What about they are not sleeping with themselves? They're sleeping with men as well. So if you're going to hit out at women and narrow it down to feminism and all of those, don't you think you probably put a one-sided post up?
It is not one-sided at all, and the reason is this. Now, one, for those who feel, I listened to the first commentator, and he mentioned that, I generalized the comment. I didn't. The first paragraph, in fact, the first sentence of the whole message gave the context to which, or the people that I was going to talk about. The first statement is, they start as slave queens. So if you know any feminist who didn't start as a slave queen, she is out of the message. So I was just going for slave queens who have tend to be feminist and role models. Period. That is one. Two, Lexis, any sexual activity you see happening in this world, if it is not rape, it is on the permission of the woman. No man in this world can cause sex to happen. So if we are dealing with the issue of sex and the fact that people are giving themselves out, we can never say that a man is giving himself out. It is always the woman who must give herself out. That is to tell you how powerful the woman is. And that is feminism. Feminism simply means that make the woman identify herself. And if the day the last woman identifies herself, they will know that they are more powerful than men. They won't even fight for equality because they're higher than the man. Look, the woman can make things happen. She can also collapse things. The woman can make the world happen. She can decide to let the world clamp down. The whole world lies in the hands of a woman. All the woman needs is to identify who she is. I see a lot of ignorant feminists going about telling people and educating young girls that they are empowering them. They are empowering them for what? Help them to identify them. Look, Lexis, today, if you yourself and a woman, you make the decision that you want to see Akufo-Addo, the tendency that the woman will see Akufo-Addo, the president, is higher than you. These are the realities. So they just need to identify the power they have, the authority that they have, and that's all.
Counselor,
yes.
You let the president give me a call.
It was just an example. I mean, anyone in authority at all.
Anyway,
the point is that yes.
What's the final point you would want this post you put up to send across? Just briefly.
Yes, I want people to look at the message from a very objective point of view. I want people to contextualize the message. It is for slave queens, some of whom have sat on CNN and admitted that they are following people's husbands. So, and I mentioned a few names. I mentioned because these are people who are themselves have come out public.
Well, on here, you don't mention any name, okay?
Yes, I wouldn't. And so, it wasn't to slight any group of persons, and I apologize for anyone who feels very much offended. But I feel that feminism should be taken well. Not everybody who, again, let us not measure success by the materials people have. Let's measure success by the impact people make in other people's lives.
Okay.
And so if you buy a car and build a house at the age of 25, what did you do to get to that point? If our interest is in the houses and the cars you have bought, then we will say you are successful and so you are feminist. But that is not the case.
But Councillor, if our home.
As for young people, look, a lot of young girls are going about thinking they are late in life because they don't have cars, they have not built houses. They are 25. Somebody will tell you, "Oh, I sold Gary and I made $10 million." I mean, that is not a reality.
Okay.
So, I hear you. Our young people.
Bro, thank you so much. Great talking to you, and we totally appreciate it. So that's Councillor Daniel Fenny who put up the post, the preamble for our conversation here on Drive Chat today. And I know it's very debatable, and it's going to be an ending debate, but it's all for a good cause. Kojo is here.
Hi, Kwame.
What's happening in news?
To headline news at 5 with me, Anna Smith. The Ghana Education Service has rescinded its decision not to allow some 13 final year senior high school students from writing the rest of their papers in the ongoing WASI. The students were found to have engaged in vandalism. President Akufo-Addo asked the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, to engage the Ghana Education Service to review its decision. Here's PRO of the GES, Cassandra Chumampofo.
As directed by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Honorable Minister of Education has engaged management of Ghana Education Service today. And then we have reviewed the sanctions imposed on the students who misconducted themselves after the integrated science paper on Monday, 3rd August 2020. We saw that the unlisted students, the students from Secondary College, Nicholas and Kadmiel John Kofi, and then Simon Amaigbo and Julius Mwakwa of Chinebua Kodia, and then we have the students at Batol Senior High School, Emmanuel Ashango, Peter Sisi, Ameka, Shadrach, and then Albert Chicho, and then Solomon Bapa, Albert Ejekum, Washington of Jabin Senior High School.
And that's PRO of the Ghana Education Service, Cassandra Chumampofo. Minority leader Haruna Idris is accusing the Bank of Ghana of breaching the Specialized Deposit Institutions Act by not publishing an inventory report on the collapsed banks and microfinance institutions. Mr. Idris says it's possible the receiver has received commission in excess of the legally permitted 5% on assets auctioned.
According to the Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act 2016, Act 930, Section 1301, and I quote, "The receiver shall within 1 month of taking possession of a bank or specialized deposit taking institution and transmit a copy of the inventory report to the Bank of Ghana." We are asking that where is the inventory report on the collapsed banks and on the micro and savings institutions? Was it remitted to the Bank of Ghana? If yes, where is it? We demand